Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Marvel Legends Mysterio figure. There are technically, well, at least two versions of this guy. There might be one other that's a slight variation on one of them, but there's this one and then there's the metallic one where almost everything is metallic. I personally don't care for that. I like the standard non-metallic colors better, so that's the one we're going to be looking at today. And also I don't have the metallic one anymore, so we don't really have much of a choice. But that said, this guy is pretty cool looking. I do much prefer the animated look from the cartoon in the 90s, but this one is not too bad, and it's definitely a good enough placeholder in the collection. So let's take a look at the figure. He stands just about 6 3/4 inches tall to the top of his dome, which for me it's a bit oversized. I know it would have to be big enough to fit his head in there, but the proportions on this guy are kind of odd since he's got such a smaller frame. To have that big dome, it just looks a little strange, but it's not too far off from the source material. The entire body is a new sculpt. He's got this kind of checkerboard look, which is painted, I mean, it's not a great paint job really. It's technically just a black wash, I believe. It could be dry brushing, but it looks to me like a wash over all of that green texturing. So it actually looks pretty good. He's got these golden boots, which aren't super metallic, but they are somewhat metallic, so they look kind of cool with that black wash on them. Then the gloves are just kind of a flat yellow with some orange shading and some bronzish colored highlights. So it's kind of nice looking. He's got these clasps on his cape, which is kind of a classic look for him. The cape itself is sculpted pretty nicely. I do like that. It has some nice shading, and it's a nice soft material, so that's pretty cool. He has a button back here, and it's a really big button, but that's because it actually, when you push it in, it has teeth on it and it spins a gear that rotates the heads up here. And it actually also activates a light. You can see that LED right there. It's not going to really light up too much. It's not the best design, but it does light up, so that's kind of cool. So you can see here, he's got the more human, normal looking face. When you rotate it one time, you get kind of this ugly baby looking face. It's kind of well sculpted and painted for being just a weird mutated head. You can see there are 3 different ones on there. So then you can press it again and you get this really ghoulish looking face. Hopefully we can get it to focus on the face with the tongue sticking out and the teeth. Then you press it again, you go back to the normal face. So one press will rotate them fairly well. It depends on how hard and fast you press it, because sometimes the teeth on the gear actually skip a little bit. So you might have to take some spins to get it to line up just the way you want it. But it's not too bad. I do wish this came off though and you could kind of just spin it so that you could get it to look the way you want it to. But it's not horrible. So as far as articulation goes, that's it for the head. We do have this kind of nice sculpted piece down here that's kind of hidden by the cape, but it holds the helmet on, so that's cool. Standard ball hinge shoulders. The cape is in the way, but like I said, it's nice and soft. So it actually works out very well because the way it bunches up is pretty natural. So ball hinge shoulders with a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, pretty good range of motion there. Is there a swivel? I don't remember. It's been a while. I don't remember. Yeah, there is. It's just really stiff since this is an older figure. So there is a swivel inside the gauntlet there. The hand has a hinge at the wrist and at the fingers, although it's not really useful on this guy. On this hand anyway, this is more of like his magical hand, and this is more of a gripping hand. Same articulation. It really looks kind of goofy though, unless you just make the fist. So kind of a common thing throughout some of the older Legends, the unnecessary addition of articulation, which actually did not benefit the figure too much. But it is there, and it's not horrible in this case. No torso articulation at all, just the waist twist, which is, I guess, okay. I don't know why they didn't do any torso articulation, but it's not horrible for this guy. I can excuse it on some figures, and this guy is one of them. He's not exactly known for his acrobatics, so it's alright. He has T-jointed ball hinge hips, and they actually blend in pretty seamlessly. Despite the lack of torso articulation, I really like the sculpt and the design of his core body. I do like it. He's got a thigh swivel at the top of each leg, double jointed knees. Oh, I think one of the things that I like about this body so much is the organic look. There's no real square edges. And one thing I want to point out, I don't know if any of you guys have noticed this, but on the older Legends, in the knee joints, it was kind of rounded, where this part came, like where the end part, where it terminated, let's just put it that way, so that when you bent the knee, it was still kind of smooth looking. Whereas on the newer Legends, they are really sharp edges, so that when you have it like this, it's all flush this way, but as soon as you bend it, there's kind of a really sharp edge. If you look at the movie Black Widow, that's a good example. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I do appreciate this older design just a little bit. It's not the best in that it's kind of blocky, but it does work quite well, so I do like that. He does have a boot swivel at the top of the boot, ankle pivot, ankle rocker, which is always nice, the classic ankle rocker, which is more natural and realistic and effective than the current design. So getting a little reminiscent back here, but I do like this figure a lot, and I think you guys will too. Despite its shortcomings, it's actually a pretty solid figure, and I definitely recommend it for any of the Spider-Man fans out there. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.